This Witchy Web We Weave. I'm Alara.
I'm Alex.
And today this is just going to be a brief intro to our new channel. We're going to be covering all things witchy, but first we'll just kind of give you a little idea of why we're doing this and who we are. So like I said, I'm Alara. I am a eclectic pagan.
Both are.
Yeah, we both are. I've only been doing this for a little under a year, but I've kind of been introduced to it since a very young age, off and on. So I've kind of been dabbling for a long time up until a point where I just decided to go full in. A lot of the things that we're going to be going into are probably going to reflect back on this, but one of the main things, I am a tarot reader.
And I do runes.
So you're going to see a lot of videos going back and forth between that. I think that's mostly it for my stuff.
And then my stuff's a little longer. I've been kind of in and out since my whole life, but really started in about high school. I bought my first rune set in high school, and then it just kind of evolved from there. Internet stuff, books, fiction, movies, TV, all that jazz.
You also do a lot of like Green Witch and like Hearth Witch inspired stuff.
Yeah, a little bit. You know, a little cooking, a little gardening, a little bit of everything.
A lot of my stuff mostly focuses on divination, a lot of crystal grids, things like that. I don't do as much Green Witch stuff as you.
Yeah, I probably do a little more homey stuff.
She's better at keeping her stuff alive than I am.
And there you go. And I like to cook sometimes. I'm lazy, but I like doing it. And then from there, I discovered some stores, took her to other stores all over the country. Well, not all over, but mostly Texas and Arizona, some in Las Vegas. And then that kind of leads us to this channel where we're kind of just hodgepodging everything we know and everything, which isn't a lot, don't get us wrong. Yeah. But kind of where we're at in our own journeys, and we're just kind of bringing you along, basically. It's kind of like a...
Yeah.
Kind of like an extensive video diary.
Yeah, I think a lot of this is just going to be us talking about some of the new stuff that we find. As we find stuff, we're going to try and make it easier for y'all. So we're going to try to provide books, links, a little bit more in-depth info as we learn. So we're going to be learning along with you for a lot of things. But there will be some videos that we're going to do that are going to specifically be coming from places where we've got some experience in it.
Or we feel adequately enough to bestow some knowledge. Maybe not all of it, but just what we know about
just a
it.
Little. I think some, like, our main things that we're going to be doing is a Tarot Tuesday and...
Futhar Fridays.
And that's going to be alternating...
weeks, one a week. So she does it like on the first week, I would be on the second week, back and forth.
And then everything else after that is mostly going to be as the inspiration hits us. Mostly just on a broad amount of topics. Some of what we're hoping to cover are going to be herbs, crystals, crafts.
And that the craft could get a little, maybe not so witchy. There's things that I want to just try, and maybe if I can get it to where it kind of incorporate it, maybe some people are interested in that. Like, I really want to learn how to make soap.
Yeah, but I think that's a really good idea for, like, doing, like, soap, bath, shower magic. I think a lot of things that we'll probably be talking about is also different kinds of magic and how it can come in unexpected ways. So I think a lot of this is going to tie back in to the central witchiness. I think one of the big things that I'll end up talking about is I'm actually in transition right now with where I'm living, and I'm significantly downgrading. So I'm going from out in the open with my witchy altar to basically going back deep into the broom closet while I stay with my mom until I'm done with grad school. So.
Whereas, like, I always have all my stuff out pretty much. So whoever finds it. Most times no one asks me questions. I don't think they want the answers. So we're probably going to get into how to do witchy stuff on the sly, though, because we know it's not ideal for everyone to have it all out in the open. It's not safe for certain people to have it out in the open. And she's probably going to handle a lot of that because she's going to have to be living it, basically.
Yeah, for the next year.
Yeah, whereas if I touch on anything, it might be like using herbs in your food, like if you want, prosperity magic or romance magic or whatever, just to kind of give you a little boost or something. I'll be like, oh, hey, if you're cooking some chicken, add some whatever. I don't know off the top of my head, sorry.
Lemongrass, I don't know.
But yeah, like, I could think of like an herb blend that maybe doesn't taste like, you're just eating a pile of grass and throw that on a chicken and there you go. It's seasoned and you're doing some stuff and it's super low key because no one's going to suspect your herbed chicken is your practice. No one's going to think that.
What a way to curse somebody or hex them.
Oh, man, don't get me started because I'm half Mexican and they are all about doing romance stuff especially. Like some of it's gross.
You gonna be romancing the chicken now?
No, like using foods for magics. Like remember the book?
Yeah.
So it's called like Water for Chocolate. I can't remember the author right now. In Spanish, Con agua para chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
And she doesn't know that she's doing it till midway through, and they don't call it magic or witchiness to an extent, but she basically can put her emotions into the food she makes. So she's,
her intentions. Yeah,
so she's very distraught.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone just starts crying their eyes out. If she's happy and in love, everyone's feeling the magic, So it's kind of like that, though. It's a really good example of something kind of more modern times using kind of a kitchen witch aspect.
Yeah, but hopefully we'll also be able to incorporate some other videos and things. I know we'll probably be covering different books, different resources, as well as I'm probably going to talk a little bit more about deity, just in general, and then also I happen to be a daughter of the Morgan, so I will probably mention her quite a bit as I'm just talking in general about deity because she's my lady love. She's Mama Morgan.
Mm-hmm. Whereas I might touch in on being on the path of looking or kind of having an ear to the ground just because I do have deity in my life, but not to the extent you do.
Yeah, my lady picked me up and shook me.
Yeah. So it's definitely different. So I have I have an altar space, I have a statuary, I have all this stuff going on, but it did not grab me quite so intensely.
Oh, believe me, when the Morgan wants you to pick your head up,
you'll know. So and we're gonna talk on deity in very general senses too. Mm-hmm. We don't want to step on toes. We don't want to assume anything that we don't personally really know a lot about. Obviously, right. So the most on there that we might touch on are general pantheons and very general topics like that.
We probably won't go too in-depth on specific deities just because that is such a near and dear topic to most people, especially if you are following a particular deity. And just because, since we're not going to be coming from a place of really in-depth knowledge, that's something that we're probably going to leave for y'all to discover on your own. But we might talk about deity in a more abstract way, and then I will be referencing my personal knowledge, know-how, and hers. And then I think another thing that we'll do a lot about is witching on the cheap.
Yes,
because sure. The broke life.
The broke life, the student life, all the lives.
Yeah.
And that comes in a lot with broom closeting, actually.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
If you're too young to buy a lot of stuff, if you're living at home still, if you're living with... Real quick note, I don't think I would really recommend living with a forever partner that wasn't at least aware of what you're doing, just because that's going to cause problems later. Do what you do, though. But...
Way to add some relationship advice in there.
Why not? We were talking about making love chicken. Like, put some love magic on there.
As long as you're not making love to the chicken.
Jesus. Okay.
Anyway. Sorry. As y'all get to know us, yeah.
Yeah, uh-huh.
I'm just going to sit here and look ashamed for a minute.
Uh-huh. So... But yeah, it's important to be honest with your partner. But if it's something like if you're a roommate, if you're in college and maybe your roommates are, if you're living in the South like we do, you're probably going to run into more religious folks than maybe if you were living in like a more liberal area, like a little freedom.
And I actually think that was probably something that we should have brought up when we were kind of talking just a quick little bit about ourselves is we both come from very conservative backgrounds.
Yeah.
Y'all, you had what, the Roman Catholic?
Yeah, Dad was Roman Catholic. Mom was raised Catholic, because Mexican. But as she got older, she just went Christian because it was a lot more accessible to her.
Mm-hmm.
It was easier to take the family, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, raised Catholic. Went, you know, she had her communion, all that jazz, and Dad was, I'm pretty sure, an altar boy at one point. So, you know.
Yeah, and then I'm from the South. I'm from Arkansas, and I was raised by a very conservative Baptist. Yes, thank you. I was getting to that. Yeah, we weren't too far from foot washing Baptists, so it took me a long time to get to where I am now. So, who knows? We may talk a little bit about that more in the future. But yeah, that's pretty much us. We just wanted a quick hi, how do you do, introduce ourselves a little bit, and hopefully you'll kind of follow along with us as we, you know, go along this journey, this witchy web that we're weaving.
True. Quick little side note, we did film this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
It was a very long video because we didn't know what we wanted to talk about. We just kind of had an outline.
It became story time.
And we filled it in with anecdotes and stories and...
If you really want to get to know us, our personalities, how we're probably going to be, and you're in the mood for a long video, I would check it out. I had fun with it.
It's a good long video. It's at least 40 minutes of just us talking. So,
us being us.
Yep. But yeah, if you guys want, it's going to be up. You don't have to watch it. This is pretty self-explanatory. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's it.
All right.
All right. Bye.
See you around.